adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
We're back, episode 24 of the No Snooze Podcast. We are outside again, and it is looking very ominous.
It is beautiful. All right, man, dude, I see it now. Your chest is looking ripe. Give me a Podbot update, Mike.
So I don't know if it's a Podbot update or a laundry update, but I might just be shrinking shirts.
Okay.
And
you're giving me the illusion.
Yes, it's a double, but I was just saying before we started recording, this morning I woke up, for whatever reason, I wake up, I grab my phone, and I turn off the alarms. Then I go to the bathroom, put my contacts in, and then go straight downstairs. For whatever reason, I usually put on my flashlight, and this morning I just walked down in the pitch black, and I missed the last step, and stepped on Petey's bowls, which are like a metal.
Yeah, so you get the ding
loud.
Yeah,
and flipped, water everywhere. So I scramble, I turn the light on, I hear Dana's up, which isn't good.
Uh-oh.
Then 15 minutes into the workout, my Fitbit, which I don't have on right now, don't know why I'm slacking on that, was upstairs and the alarm was going off for that.
Ooh.
15 minutes later. So it was just
Started out hot.
Yeah.
Started out real hot.
But I have been incorporating the structure of the every minute doing 10, because now getting all the push-ups, and I'm at 800 within the time frame, is getting more difficult.
Yep.
And the 5 minutes in between each set, I don't even know what the right term is, in between each 100,
yeah, I
use to comment and do some social media stuff. So if you're not doing it correctly and slow or fast, or you get behind, and then part of it's just trying to catch up. So it's kind of been a fun trying to keep pace. And then some mornings I start late, and then I try to catch up to the pace. This morning I did not get 800 before 7. But I got a whooping cough shot, which...
For the baby, yep.
Yep. Did your arm get sore?
No. I would say lack of muscle on your part, but...
But Dana was talking junk, like, watch, your arm's going to be so sore. And I'm like, no, it's not. This morning I couldn't lift it.
No, I do remember it being a little bit sore, but...
Yeah. So Dave, I haven't asked you in weeks, but how is your Podbod update going?
So
you look tan.
Listen,
you're missing
if
something.
you're on YouTube, you can visually see that I am missing something drastic from the Dave Regina as you know him.
Dave Regina, the beard.
And it is the beard, right? So I shaved my beard. It's already growing back a little bit. I just haven't decided, am I gonna go, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, nice and short, and then grow it, from Labor Day till the following Memorial. So I got to figure that out.
So I have so many follow-up questions.
Yep.
Well, first I have a movie reference that I hope you get.
Sure.
Well, have you seen the Santa Claus?
No.
So he becomes the Santa Claus, and he keeps trying to shave, and it grows back in 10 seconds.
Okay.
And he's like, I shave in the morning, and at night I look like this, and it's full. That's what I think of you and your hair growing. 2, why did you shave it?
So Karina has been dying for me to shave this thing. Just to, not that she didn't like the beard, but she's been dying to see, what does your face look like after, 5+ years of not
Did you think
this?
it was going to change?
Well, I don't think she really even knew anymore. She was just like, you look so handsome in our wedding photos, and now you look like a Neanderthal. So, I think she really wanted it. Then I was toying around with the idea. Didn't think that I was going to go through with it, because every single time I've shaved my beard in the past, I regret it immediately.
Really?
Immediately, though. As soon as a chunk comes off your face, you're like, why did I do that? It's going to take me so long now to grow it back. But then I threw that poll up on Instagram. Yeah. And 200 people voted.
I love how you're just following Instagram.
Yeah. But
what do I do today?
200 people voted on it. So I'm like, all right, I got to do it.
They voted to shave it?
I dare you.
Really? We should have done something.
I put in I dare you just to, see if people were into it. They were, so I went with the crowd, pleased my wife. It was a win-win. it took me 2 days before I can literally look myself in the mirror and say, oh, okay, I think now I'm actually a decent looking human. But when I first shaved it, I'm like, where's my chin? Where's my face? I felt skinny again. Like I just felt like I just lost it. I lost my swag meter went drastically down. My intimidation meter doesn't exist anymore.
If anything, I think your intimidation meter goes up.
Really?
Yeah. I think the more you can see of someone's face, the more intimidating they are.
Really?
Yeah,
I think,
clearly.
I don't know. But actually, now that you say that, there was a couple people when I was looking at them after they were like, what is this? Because I'm back in the office now, right? They're like, I can't really tell. And I'm looking at them and they're like, why do you look so serious? But I was just looking normally, but I guess maybe with the beard, maybe it's a fluffy thing. I don't know, Other
question. Did you shave it so that you potentially could save your shave? Like that could be a slogan.
Save the shave.
When like sometimes I'll do a portion if I want to keep it. You like do the neck and they're like, am I going to shave this whole thing today?
No, so mine.
You went this way?
Dude, yeah. Oh, I went completely up with the clip. No,
because I would have done like maybe a 300 look with the goatee type thing.
No clip, just took it off, and then immediately I regretted it.
Did you tell Karina before you came out?
No. She walked in the
What was her
bathroom. I was
reaction?
like, babe, can you come, hit my back real quick, my neck? She came in, she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, it looks bad, doesn't it? It looks bad.
Put it back
yeah,
on.
no. And then she was like, oh, you look so handsome. So
did her voice go up when she said that?
No, she was very serious about it. And then my mother-in-law too, she wanted me like this forever.
That's
my
funny.
dad, he hates the beard. Right? So a lot of people in my life have been saying it, but I've always just kept it anyway. It's a nice change.
It's funny because Dana wants me to grow a beard, but I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, I think that looks
nice. Because it's a little unkept, and I get very irritated in my skin.
Yes, but you have to fight through that little uncomfortable phase.
Fight through it.
Well,
there goes all of our beard sponsorships. Thanks a lot. That's awesome.
But wait, let me give you an update.
I had one on the hook.
Let me give you an update on the pod bod. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yes. We
you know
got
what I'm saying? That's what we're
your
talking
body
about.
looks bigger because your beard's off now, so it helps.
So okay, good. I like to hear that. But I did the 20 miles a day thing. I logged I think 152 miles on the Peloton. But today I went back for the week and I looked at how many calories that I burned, because that's what amazes me. Like I like looking at things like that. Like how I always translate the miles to marathons.
Yeah.
Today I did calories for the week. So I had burned 7,436 calories. Sounds crazy, but when you put it into perspective, right?
Wait, for the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's for the week. A pound is 3,500 calories.
I keep swearing, I was going to ask you if you knew that.
Yeah.
Of course you know that.
So, yeah, I'm full of weird facts, you know that.
Yeah.
But 3,500 calories is a pound. So that's 2 pounds in the week. They say the average weight loss, like a healthy weight loss, is 1 to 2 pounds a month, right?
Who says that?
That's like the statistics or whatever. So it's just cool. Like I just know how many calories I'm burning, but my resistance is so jacked up on this Peloton that like I still think that I'm creating and building muscle, which is good.
My question would always be like, how do I know how many calories I'm burning? Because I would love to get hooked up to all the machines and actually like get a super accurate reading of everything.
Yep.
Like the UFC Institute
Yes.
or like football, they hook
Yes.
you up. That'd be fun. We should do that one day.
I'm infatuated now with like that body scan thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't obviously been in the gym in months. And the last time I was on it, they give you this metric, and it's like, okay, you have now created this. It's your like metabolic rate, I guess, and how many calories you're burning throughout the day, even if you don't work out.
Yeah.
So I've created this lifestyle for myself over the years, and even when I don't work out, my metrics are still over 2,800 to 3,000 calories a day, just being burned because of how my body, I guess, is used to it. It's pretty amazing stuff, though.
So there's a show, Gravity, on YouTube, Gravity Transformation. It's this trainer guy,
Yeah.
but he does quick clips of like 7 foods that help fat loss and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But he talked about the velocity of like what you're consuming increases the speed at which you burn a calorie.
Yep.
So all calories are not created equal. And then on top of that, but depending on how much muscle you have, you burn stuff quicker. So it's like, even though this is 300 it's very basic stuff, but I
Yep.
find it's
is.
very interesting.
It is, and when you actually study it and then you're conscious of it,
It's unlimited though.
It's crazy.
The levels you can get
Yeah.
into.
Oh, it's crazy.
My struggle is how do you turn that off and enjoy Like, do you ever feel guilty when you have like a slice of pizza? Because you know now, before you really didn't know like what's in it, but now you know like that's however many miles on the Peloton.
So no, I don't feel guilty. I actually look forward to it, which is why I crush Oreos every night.
That's so funny.
But
that's the most compact calorie per like.
Oh, it's crazy. But so I know that my output on a daily basis is so high, right? And I mean that in terms of like me putting good things into my body, in terms of output. Technically that would be input, I guess. But I'm talking about the way that I live my life in terms of my nutrition is more than 80%. Like I talk about that 80-20, it's way more than 80%.
Yeah.
So on the times that I do want to indulge, I go hard.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. And then I actually think it even helps me.
Well, that's what I was saying with the cheat day.
Yeah.
How like I used to eat myself sick, and then it would help me because the next day I would want to eat clean.
Yeah.
And you'd get everything out of the way in one day. And how much damage can you really do in one day?
Yeah, that's true. But I think I can do some serious damage. But I'd just rather get a little taste every day if I want than have one full day. That's a personal thing. I think there's two ways. You can have a cheat day, which so many people talk about. I like to do like a cheat meal multiple times a week.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I mean?
I've kind of found that if I do the cheat day and I'm busy working like on a Sunday, I feel like I get cheated because usually if I don't have anything going on, I'll have like monster meals all day.
All day.
But if you have a cheat day and you're busy all day and then you save it to the end, then you're like, I wanted 3 different things and I only was able to get one of them. And it's late now, so I can't eat too much because tomorrow it's going to screw me up.
Yeah, constant battle.
Yeah.
You know? And then the last thing on that, if you guys were wondering, Mike did 4,000 push-ups on the app
last week.
So if
you go to Sunday,
it doesn't matter.
If you go to Sunday, I did 5,600.
But I would have done 6,000 because I've done 1,000 a day.
But wait, tell me what you, because the app's all screwed up.
Yeah.
Whoever runs this app, call me. We're gonna fix this. So what do you do in a week?
Okay, so now for the time being, I've been doing 1,000 a day.
Yes,
but I break it up, and I've become it's very easy to do for me because I do it a different way now.
When you say a day though, so you do 7,000 for the week?
7,000 for the week right now. But this is gonna stop. I will talk about this in the episode.
Oh, I know it's gonna stop.
But I figured out a way that I can do this forever because I do 2 10s.
Yeah,
right?
which I'm stealing a lot of your stuff. But I'm like, can't beat them, join them.
But you should. So if I'm doing 2 10s and I know that I can do 210 push-ups in 5 minutes, right? Because it is. But that's what I've built up to.
Yeah, because the drop set. I like the drop set.
But when I'm doing that, and I'll do my 210, then I'll get on the bike, then I'll do 210, then at lunchtime I'll do 210.
210 is what? It's you
20,
start at 20
all the way
and then
down.
drop all the way down. So 20, 19, 18, 17.
Right.
Which
all the way
down.
Is
a smart way to do it.
It is, but that's now to get the quantity or whatever. But we'll talk more about, me and I guess where we're gonna go
about it, and what you're gonna talk later about when it's stopping.
Yes.
Okay. And why are you stopping it?
So, this to me right now
is a waste of time.
Is a waste of time.
I knew. See,
because
I'm not worried about wasting the time for this. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but my joy in terms of working out, push-ups isn't enough.
You know what I mean? Love it.
So I need to figure out a way, especially when the kids come.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna figure out a way now to take my workouts because I like circuits. I like circuits. Like my gym people, miss you guys so much, but I would do 5 pull-ups.
My gym people still looking for you.
I would do 5 pull-ups. We would drop down to do 10 push-ups. We would do that for an hour straight, right? So I like doing things like that. So now I need to figure out a way that, okay, I'm gonna be on the Peloton for 45 minutes. So my 20 miles a day thing, that's gonna be gone too. How
many hours do you work out?
Like, right now it's like 2 hours, but it's because I choose to do that, But now the episode that we're going to talk about is doing more with less time. Yeah. This is something that I'll explain, but I have to figure out a way now to not be selfish and spend 2 hours working out when a baby comes. So what I need to do is I'm very passionate about my cardio game. So I want to spend my time there. So I'm going to do 30 to 45 minutes there, and then I have to get 30 minutes in of weights. So that's like an hour, 15 minutes. right? So yeah, of course, to play with Mike Pirelli and doing push-ups, I can do that, right? But it's that's not something, and I will still incorporate push-ups. But once I hit this 100,000 mark, I think I'm gonna tap out.
Which, in my defense, I told you, in some form, I'm gonna get there.
But then again, right? So I don't know. It's a waste of time for me to be logging. No. Hear me out.
Yeah.
So the way that I sweat, for whatever reason, when I tap my nose to this thing.
Oh, you're still tapping your nose?
It doesn't even calibrate.
Oh, I don't tap it anymore because you weren't doing it. So
But
I
it
just
does.
do the.
It doesn't even calibrate to it, it pisses me off.
Yeah, but you know how many you do.
Of course,
Yeah.
and I can keep track. And if you want me to keep the app running just for that, I think I can do that throughout my day. But
yeah,
once
like I would say do whatever you want, but I did say long term I'm gonna make the move because I said I don't care about the other fitness. I get very tunnel vision on something until I get it,
right,
which is fine. And who knows, my body might be absurdly weird because I'm just doing tons of push-ups. But I will take that to get my pair of shoes. One day, I just gotta get one day in front of you.
All right, and that's fine.
And I knew long term that I know you could do it. I just was like, well, is he gonna waste that time doing it? Probably
like
not.
Today
I will.
You know what was pissing me off? Today I'm doing.
You probably get pissed about it.
I was doing 210s on the push-ups, but I know that I have to do the same amount of crunches. So I'm like, dude, why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my time doing this? A perfect workout for me though, and I've been getting actually some enjoyment out of it, is doing the 20 push-ups, then doing the 20 crunches right back to back, the 19. It breaks it up nice. But all right, man, enough of us.
No, this is the fun stuff. I think people love the push-up stuff.
They like the Podbot update. They definitely do. But we are getting extremely close, right? And this had me really thinking about this episode when we were talking about, what we're going to talk about. And we got, like, on the outline, Prego update comes. I just changed the weeks especially for Mr. Pirelli over here. You are now 35 weeks. I'm 36 weeks, which is awesome. But it's getting very close, Mike.
I know there's a due date, and I know there's a time frame before that due date where it's very likely / possible. So I'm very prepared now, mentally. But I feel like I've been mentally ready, but the reality is starting to set in of things that haven't been done yet in the house that I'm trying to sprint to do.
Yep, you're killing the office. It looks great.
We'll see how it comes out.
It looks great.
I see the vision, and I know what it's going to end up being, like with everything I do. It's slower moving than I want, and it's a lot more work than I expected.
And you're doing it by yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing it a couple hours here, a couple hours there. I go on a tangent where, like, if I'm going to do anything, I want to overdo it. And I was looking up, like, fake brick out of
they have wallpaper
styrofoam installation, but the wall's not flat. So there's like a way to do it, and I saw a really cool design. So I'm thinking of making one wall my real estate logo, one wall the No Snooze logo, and then you just change the camera depending on where you're recording.
I love it.
So that's the idea. But
that's a great idea.
Right now it looks like someone said, "Is that an interrogation room?" and he was in the service, and I was like, "Yeah, it could be."
That is hilarious.
But anyway, sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, it's all good. So, I mean, Karina, I don't know how she is handling it the way that she's handling it, and I'm sure the same with Dana. But obviously, I don't see Dana on a daily basis, so you can speak to that.
You're supposed to be checking in with both of them.
Yeah. But they are champions. Like,
it's impressive.
One, I still never knew how attracted I was going to be to my pregnant wife. I say that all.
So weird.
I say that all the time, and I think it goes two ways. You're either extremely like, yeah, that's a little like strange type thing, or there's like this. It's a real life thing. So one, I always tell, literally when I see her every morning, I'm like, you are gorgeous. I didn't tell her that before, and I told her, I said, well, I'm going to be upset when you're not pregnant anymore. So we're going to have to go back to back, I think.
Back to back. Yeah, you could do that.
Right?
What's the ruling on that too?
They say like 6 months or whatever. No, but let's get through the first one. I'm kidding about, Yeah, right. No, 1 year apart.
1 month.
Irish twin. Okay, Claudio just said Irish twins are 1 month apart. Oh man, we got to get you a microphone. But the space now in her stomach, I don't know how she can even really how she can sleep at night.
Dana hasn't been sleeping well.
No, I know, and they wake up, and especially now the baby's pushing on the bladder, right? So
And
that
the stomach
happens.
in general,
They have to go to the bathroom a lot. I get that, but when I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, how is her stomach so big?
When I'm looking at this.
No, I'm serious. How is her stomach so big? And she is like, she didn't gain weight really anywhere else. She gained it in like really nice places.
Isn't that weird? Isn't
But
that weird?
I don't. But I also think it's because of how she's handling the pregnancy. Some women, and I can't speak to it because I'm not a woman, but this is what they've, friends have told me.
Be careful here.
Yeah. I got to preface this carefully, but you either have like the ability to really control it or not, because some women are just like, look, I'm just sick all the time, I would have no option.
Yeah.
But now the women who have control, like our wives, they're doing a really good job at consciously trying to make the pregnancy go as easy as possible, because my wife, I don't know how, she's still working out. She's 36 weeks, going on 37 weeks, still on this Peloton, still doing pregnancy workouts. And I'm fine with it because she's not overdoing it. But then when you talk to the doctors, they're like, no, that's great. It's going to make the process so much easier. But I give them a lot of credit.
So on that note, the doctor told us like walking's very good and walking.
Walking, yes.
And it's not been updating, but I put in 20,000 steps on Memorial Day or more. So Dana and I went to Poughkeepsie and we did the walking bridge. And about halfway through, both of us were thinking, but didn't say anything, like, what if she goes into labor on this walking bridge? Like, it's a mile to get across it.
But it's not like you go into labor and then the baby comes out right away.
No, but someone's in labor, you're in Poughkeepsie. It wasn't the smartest thing.
You got to pick her up.
And I mean, I've been training for this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're training for the moment.
But walking apparently is very good, and she's been very positive, and I think she's ready. I think more than anything, you get to like a level of excited.
Yep.
And the biggest thing that I've learned from people who had babies is like they really didn't think too much of what the baby's going to look like. And when the baby comes out, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like that looks like us as a baby, So it's interesting and they change so fast.
Yes.
Every day you get update pictures and it's like, oh, looks like you now, or it looks like so.
All right.
I know we secretly have like, I hope they get this of you,
of
hope
course.
this of me, so hope she gets more of Dana than myself.
I feel the same way. I hope she has a little bit of her daddy in her, but I would listen. I hope she doesn't have my nose. I hope she doesn't have my crooked nose.
Well, she'd have to break it a couple times.
Yeah, really.
Maybe coming out she might break it.
Yeah. Oh man. No, but look.
How are you? Are you staying calm?
I am. I'm extremely calm. I'm still having the
booms?
The booms are, the booms happen, but the side effects of pregnancy, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you get this,
what do you mean?
I still get a little nauseous.
Really?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I get,
Are you getting more emotional?
I get the occasional acne here and there from the,
really?
From the stress of it.
Are you getting more emotional? Do you find yourself thinking about stuff now?
Well, when in the morning when I'm like reading about it, yeah, for sure.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like I was in the middle of something and they were talking about a daughter maybe it was a song or something. I was just sitting there. I was like, whoa, that's going to be like us at some point.
Yeah.
I've thought about her wedding day and like giving a speech, which is very weird.
Well, you just play the podcast back for them.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
But giving a speech, like I think I've been thinking so far in advance, which is a little concerning. Because I'm like, just appreciate, the near.
We definitely have to be able to live in the moment.
But people say that
quick.
In our defense, people are constantly like, oh, are you saving for the wedding or are you saving for their college?
Yes.
People put that in your head.
Yep, for sure. But I think like anything in life, the long term is good to know that it's there. But, we have to worry about focusing on what's going to be in that moment. Like when that baby cries at 2 a.m., we got to get up and do what we got to do.
It's so funny, too, because I know people are watching this right now, and they're like, you guys have no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I'd rather. I'd rather be like, just going blind.
But I will tell you, I am as prepared as I can be without having a child, if that makes any sense. Like, we know the responsibilities of a dog and trying to do certain things in terms of your responsibilities in the household. Now that I was actually telling Claudio this yesterday. What I do, I'm very system-based, if you haven't noticed. But I didn't realize that it's like an obsession of mine. So
you have OCD, right?
A little bit.
Form of it?
I think so. But now I'm obsessed with trying to understand how babies think. Because I already know it's a fact that when the baby's crying, you can't talk. right? But if I can at least understand how the brain develops from an early age, I have some inkling of it. So I'm already prepared mentally for the moment that, you know what, wow, it's a lot smarter to sleep in until 5:30 a.m. and 6 o'clock because I was just up for 2 hours. I don't care about that type of stuff, you know? Whereas before, that wasn't the focus. So now I think my clarity is there, and I'm ready as can be. But then again, when you get hit with that moment, I don't know what it's gonna be.
I think you're going to get a little more fluid with everything. Like, I think the real estate industry in general has prepared me because you can't really control your schedule, even if you try. So moving things around, I've gotten good at, and it sounds like you do it as well. But I think having the babies is going to make us even better at just being like task oriented.
Right.
Being like, oh, I got to get all these things done. It doesn't matter what order. But I have 2 hours now where the baby's asleep. I got to do all this. You know, which I think is a good skill. So do you think you're going to sleep in once the baby comes? A lot of people have been asking me that.
No. Well, let's save that for the family section of this.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Family section.
Just because I think that's going to be one of the changes. And not that, you know, your whole life changes, but for the first, you know, couple weeks, the first few months, my focus is going to be my child.
Yeah, you're just going to be figuring it out.
Of course, when I wake up, I'm going to work out.
Are you going to be doing push-ups during all this?
Listen, if I'm at my 100,000, I might not be.
But why 100,000? Just the...
What?
Why the 100,000?
I don't know. It's a nice even number.
OCD?
Probably. I don't know. Can we get a little No Snooze recommendations going?
We can.
You want me to rock first?
Yeah, you start.
All right.
I might change mine depending on what you say.
Mine is Dave Allen's 2-minute rule. So today's episode is going to be about, I guess it's an efficiency type of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But it's technically doing more with less time. So the 2-minute rule is very simple. When you have a task list, whether it's a task list written down, I happen to write my stuff down. I don't really use my phone like that. I'm not good with technology, believe it or not.
No negative talk. You are. And you're handy.
No, but
I want you to say that.
Well, that's fine. But I'm also very real about it. I don't have the interest in it. I'd rather see it. The motion of me writing something down on my to-do list is big.
But don't you run out of rocks to write on?
But it doesn't matter, even if it's a mental list, right? The 2-minute rule is and the point of it is to stop procrastinating. So if on that task list...
Which is the No Snooze.
Exactly.
What we're all about.
But if on that task list you have something to do, and it's going to take you less than 2 minutes to do, like, oh, I got to wash the dishes. But it's going to take you less than 2 minutes to actually do it, you do it immediately. Okay? So that's part of it.
It's good.
The other part is when it's not going to take you 2 minutes. What is the one thing that you can do? Claudio, listen to this piece. What is the one thing that you can do in under 2 minutes to get you going? So I know I got to go for a 45-minute run right now. So the first action I can take that takes me under 2 minutes is to put my shoes on. Gotcha. So now I'm one step closer. So if you start breaking your bigger task down to 2-minute task and you just lock in for 2 minutes and you apply a real focus for those 2 minutes, Dave Allen's rule really helps you get through those things. And when you're conscious of that in everything that you do, it's unbelievable what happens. Like literally, you know, Karina and I will be sitting there and she folds the majority of the laundry. But like, I sometimes dread doing it. Sometimes I like to do it. It's weird, you know. Sometimes if it's fresh out of the dryer, I like doing it. But if it's not, if it's not, then I'm like, eh. I put in my head, I literally look at the clock and I'm like, I could do this for 2 minutes. So I fold and then I stop and then I go again. But when you're conscious of this 2-minute thing, you get a lot done.
I like that. That is, who's David Allen? What's his background?
So he's obviously an author, but I believe he's a life coach, and technically I believe he would be in the field of, I don't know if it's like a leadership development.
No, just curious what his background
something
was.
like
if he had
that.
like a military background.
No.
That sounds like kind of a military.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so. But this is something that my college coach, like he always used to preach these things and talk about them. And then when I think about my grandfather, it's like same type of things that they taught, and you're just like, yeah. Now I'm applying all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's the fundamentals that you go back to because you get to a certain level and then you're like, all right, how do I level up again? And then
Right.
a lot of it's just like doing the fundamentals better,
Right.
and doing it more efficiently.
Yep.
To your point.
What do you got?
Mine is actually going to be also on brand, and 4-Hour Work Week.
Oof.
It's a popular book. It sounds very.
It's incredible.
What's the where the QVC where they sell things?
Yes,
It
yes,
sounds
yes.
very cheesy, but his whole mindset is doing more with less. How, the 80-20 rule, he talks about it, kind of all that stuff. He basically, if you haven't read it,
Did you read it?
yeah, that was one of the first.
You physically read it?
I physically read that.
How many pages a day?
No, I read it. So I'm kind of weird because
You probably read books
like
in
with
an hour.
laundry, I need to do it all at once, and if I don't do it, it sits, and then I have to redo it.
Yep.
And tasks, like I like to knock stuff out.
Which is a great quality. It
Yes,
is. It
but
is.
sometimes stuff gets.
But your priorities have to be right there.
And I'm very. What people have to understand is usually I'm doing like 4 different things at the same time, because you need an answer for something, but the person's not responding yet.
Yep.
So you set that up, you leave that window open, and I go to the next window. And say that's laundry, doing dishes. So when I'm doing one thing, I'm pushing 3 other things forward too.
I think that's our biggest difference.
And it's
100%, because I cannot multitask.
yeah.
And it just, but you happen to do it well, which is,
Well,
I
it's the
think.
ADD element.
But can I give you a fun fact?
Yeah.
I'm full of these stupid facts, like literally, right? They say 2% of people, and I don't know if you are within these 2%, but the way their brain is actually wired can handle efficient multitasking at a high level. Only 2% of the world, which is crazy to think about, because if you are one of those 2%, that's pretty incredible. I just know that like my OCD will go nuts if I have things that are, just pending all the time.
So it depends what it is, right? Like if I have to do a report,
Yep.
I need to be locked in.
Yes.
And I need to go through everything, actually look at it, and I don't let anything break my focus. If I'm trying to get a bunch of, like there's, I don't want to call it busy work, but it's pushing the deal forward. If I have that stuff to knock out,
Yep.
I can take 5 deals and work on them simultaneously, because the timing works out where they all overlap.
Yep.
So like I know I gotta get the disclosure for this one. I know I have to email this person about this one thing, but they need to send me some. So I open that window up, I tee it up, and then I make a note like, in a small pad, 5 things, and then I boom, boom, boom,
That's
5
awesome.
are out. But my point being, his whole thing was he started a protein business or a supplement business. He was crazy successful, but was working way too much. He basically had a nervous breakdown, outsourced the systems and like put someone else in charge, or kind of just left the business and went and traveled the world. And it turned out he was actually making more money by doing that and enjoying his life, because he was doing it efficiently. And his whole thing is maximizing your systems and constantly auditing yourself, which was kind of like the basis for everything I do. And he was kind of the first mentor through like a book that I latched onto.
Yep.
He's got good stuff, but he does the 4-Hour Chef, 4-Hour Body.
Yes. No,
So that book's awesome.
a very good one. But I think going right to the whole point of the episode, and this is great because the recommendations tie right into it. This is a problem I think everybody in the world has.
Oh, yeah.
And as we get older, obviously now we're hitting our prime, and when we get 40, that'll be our prime, and then when we're 50, we'll just keep saying that, right?
I agree.
But it's because I see people in my life now that it seems like they're happy, I guess, but they still have something missing, and it seems like it's a stress on them on not being able to like handle the day-to-day stresses of life. So I am obsessed with systems and trying to find ways to maximize the production, the productivity. So I really want to bounce back and forth on things that, yes, we're doing, but then there's a whole element of our lives that we don't know yet because we haven't done it.
Yeah. I know personally I get overwhelmed with the personal commitments and getting thrown a bunch of floating dates and floating times.
Yep.
Because if it's set in stone, I can manage it easily.
Yep.
But if it pops up in the middle of the week, and then what people don't realize is it's a domino effect of all the other stuff going on. So that's the thing that overwhelms me. But organization is the way to get around it.
When I thought, again, about the overall topic, I immediately thought back to college. I took a journalism class, and it had to do with like creative thinking. And there was some study, I think it was done in Stanford originally, right?
Stanford, Connecticut?
Stanford University. But the theme of it was a 20-10 to get you thinking. And what the 20 was imagine you had $20 million in the bank.
Done. I'll take it.
Right? And you could spend this money however you wanted to, but you knew you only had 10 years to live. So what that did was it got you creatively thinking to prioritize your essay at the time, because it was a journalism class. What then I did was, today when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, if I only had 10 years to live, what becomes more important? What do you prioritize? What are things that you now like drop out of your life? So it was a great exercise for me to be able to articulate like my thoughts on, what I was gonna do. So again, talking about the systems, and this was something awesome that I heard one time. I believe it was.
It's funny what sticks with you.
Oh, dude! But when you hear this one, you'll never forget it.
It's better be good.
Don't be a scientist. Be a scientist. Test out everything in your life, right? Test out every single thing in your life before you really commit to go somewhere. Yeah. So like look, this could be 30 years. Like we're finally figuring things out, and people sometimes think that like, oh yeah, look, these guys, you switch overnight. This is, since I've had this whole, these times in my life, I would say right after I was 25, around 27 really, is when I had this shift. People now think it's like, oh, you're coming out of the woodworks, but it's things you do slowly over an extended period of time that then people see change, right? So
it's like diet, right? Because it takes months for you to see anything, and then you're like, well, I've been working out.
Exactly. But I believe once you get to a certain point in life, your big purpose doesn't really change. The little things and the little goals in your life begin to evolve.
Yeah, it's fair.
Right? But your biggest purpose doesn't change. I feel like now I have that clarity, so I can start to try to implement new systems by testing the things that really, haven't worked, testing new things that I believe will work, and then finally sticking to things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think also what you're kind of getting at, and I think it's another Tim Ferriss quote, is what would I do if it was, if I had so you have a goal you want to get done, like say it's, I don't know, I'll think of an example, but you have a goal you want to get done and you get overwhelmed that it's going to take forever. So if it were easy, how would I do it? Yep. That's like the constant thing you have to ask yourself. Like if it were easy, how would I do this?
It's a perspective shift.
You get it done.
That's a great point too. But even in, if you're not a diet person, right? But somebody came to you for advice, if it was your niece, if it was your child, if it was your friend, what would be the advice that you give them? You try to put yourself in those, in that
1,000 calories
in
a day.
that light. There you go.
That's a good way to do it.
1,000 calorie kid. But if you can shift the perspective real quick, because everybody knows at a base level what's right, what's wrong in every aspect of their life. You might not be an expert, but anybody can give advice to anybody, and anybody on a daily basis really does give advice. Yeah. Look at Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli going on a podcast giving advice.
We're documenting. There's no advice here.
No, but people should take certain things from, any successes that go on in other people's lives. Like just like me, like there's things that I pick up in your life that you do successfully. I hope there's things that I can contribute to you, and same thing with Claudio, right? So people should do that if it works for them. But at work, like I have a ton of these already. Work, I feel like I have been able to do this successfully, really prioritizing my time and doing things. And I'll give you tangible tips because I know you like that.
I like tangible.
And those are things that you can really apply. But like the first thing I do, I know I've spoken about closing my door before. When I close my door, if I'm not doing push-ups for Mike Pirelli, what I'm doing is I'm taking 5 minutes and I am creating an actual list for the day that needs to get done, right? From that list, this is where people also go wrong. When you go to work, what's the first thing that you do? You sit down at your desk, right? You open up.
People bother you?
You open up your email.
Yeah.
So now you're becoming reactive.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this one time too, and this stuck with me, and it was awesome. An email inbox is an organized place for other people's agendas.
Yep.
So if you jump into work at 9 a.m. and now you just become a reactive person trying, oh, I got to hit my emails. I took that, I'm like, okay, cool. So from my little list that I made, right, what are 2 things that I can send out to people, send an actual email to say, look, I need help with this project, or I happen to be in a position that I can pass a project off, right? So it gives me the ability to say, you know what, I got to prioritize my time right now. I have a list of 5, but I'm going to be proactive and I'm going to pass off 2, projects that need to be done. 1, I either need your help, or 2, you can actually handle this on your own. But it gives me a confidence, really, because I'm starting my day. I'm not looking at any email until I send 2 emails, right? But if I go in there and I now start reacting to people's emails, it could be 50 minutes of me just sitting trying to respond back to other people's agendas.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And
it works well for me.
On top of that, something that I've challenged myself to do is anticipate 2 emails down the line. So when I send 1 email, I try to accomplish
what are going to be the follow-up
3
questions for them?
Yeah. So you try and that when you list a property, and I know I link everything to real estate, but that's kind of how I
as you should
think. But like
as you should,
like for example, right, in personal life, like if I know we're gonna have dinner, and I know Dana's gonna be like, I don't know what I want, give me options, then go in with the options already.
Yep.
Save the. I mean, I do enjoy the back and forth and the bickering, but I was just trying to make it a personal one. But like in real estate stuff, when you put a listing on, you try to answer people's questions beforehand.
That could be applicable because you and I are completely different industries, and what you're saying now, you can apply that right away.
Yeah. So I'm because I can't explain to you how many emails a day and incoming stuff I get, and you have to be smart about how you follow up and be thorough, else you're going to be landing on 3 more and not address the situation. The other thing I'm kind of exploring is doing video responses to people. Nice. In a car. Hey, because we talk about this, we argued, or I took stuff the wrong way. Because text, you misunderstand people. Yeah. It happens in our personal lives. Yep. So like, you can't misunderstand a video. Hey, listen, I'm swamped right now. Hit me up later. I'll circle back. Yep. There's no confusion in that. Right. Versus a text where it's like, hey, I'm swamped right now. Hit me up late. Yep. Depending on what your mood is, it's how you interpret it. Yep. You know, if you're in a bad space. So it's interesting. But it's part of it is very draining, constantly trying to improve upon your systems.
But you have to do it.
You have to do it. But sometimes you're like,
yep,
just send the email, like, who cares? But then you have to come back and be like, I got to improve.
And then that's fine. That's fine, but then you got to bounce back. Here's another one that I do. Again, Claudio and I happen to have these conversations too, but he knows how I am at work, right? And I happen to.
I might have to sit in work one day and like just shadow him.
Whether it's with the,
he can do it with me.
Whether it's with the staff or, I got to go to the town and I got to, have a meeting with people. So now what I do, I used to just be prepared for my meeting. That's great. Preparation is key. Now I go in with an actual mission on the top of a piece of paper. So if I'm hosting a meeting.
Do people see it?
Yeah. Literally. If I'm hosting a meeting with an agenda, I'd put that mission or that goal on the top. And the first thing I say to people is like, guys, what are we trying to accomplish out of this meeting? Because I notice, yes, I'm not the busiest man in the world by any means. And I know everybody else has their own time that they're busy throughout season, whatever it is. Yeah. But more and more, I'm now called upon to basically host meetings. So this little hack right now saves me a ton of time because people get thrown off. Look at us on a podcast. If we don't come with this one little piece of paper that just has bullet points for us, we'll be on a tangent all day long. Yeah. Right? So what this does is it saves me time, keeps everybody on track, but it works. It's something very easy to do. Put the mission statement and your goal or purpose on the top of a piece of paper. Whether you hand it out or not, that's one thing. Yeah. But guys, if you're getting sidetracked, listen, guys, you've got to lock back in and focus on this task at hand. Yeah. That's been something that has literally, I would say, no joke, on a weekly basis, I mean, not now with the whole COVID thing, but on a weekly basis, that saves me hours.
And that is the Wolf of Wall Street guy. His thing at the end where he's selling a system to sell, that's his whole thing, is the straight line system, where he closes to the next step every time.
Yep.
So he's constantly achieving little missions to get to whatever the thing is. So like for us, it's like you close to seeing properties, and then from seeing properties you close to choosing a property, and then choosing, but to some extent, if someone doesn't like a bunch of properties, you close to the next appointment. But it's the constant, I don't know about you, but the constant thought towards that is, it's energy that you have to put towards it that maybe takes away from closing current business, but long term, you're going to create so much more business from it. You have to be smart enough to be like, yes, I could be doing something else that would push a deal forward.
Yep.
But this is establishing a process that I can do 3 or more of these. So it's all.
Yep. And then once people deal with you, they now have a certain expectation of you.
Yeah.
So I always like to, especially if it's a first meeting, I like to come off, very serious in a way, not like I'm going to break your face serious, but I'm about business. We're going to, close this deal on a program. We're going to get funding for this program. We're going to do whatever it is, because you can always go back from serious.
Yeah.
Right? You can always scale that back.
Yeah.
And I'm a very playful guy, you know this. But if I go into a meeting and I'm like super like cheesy on day one, it's tough for me to ever then turn that on.
Yeah.
And especially being young in our positions that we're in, it makes things a lot easier to move in that way.
See, for me, it's all about building the trust. And if I'm showing other people's clients, it's a very, people usually think it's us against him or us against them. And what I like to do is disarm them in the beginning so that they get comfortable with me, which then makes what I say, which is, I'm telling the truth, but more credible.
Right.
And they absorb more of what I'm saying. So it's a little different. Like, I need to make people warm when I start out. And usually it starts with just like creating rapport. Hey, my name's Mike. I see you're coming from whatever. How was the drive? They start talking. Oh, my wife does this, blah, blah, blah. I always talk about Dana because it's something I constantly think about. And by establishing that connection in that, and I think it goes for kind of everything.
Absolutely.
You're able to create, at least a situation where their antennas aren't up and they don't want to argue with you.
Yep. No, that's a great point.
You know what I mean?
I'm talking strictly on if I have to go, if
I'm just giving the other side of it.
No, but that's key too. Like, you have to be very personable.
Yes.
But when I walk in a room to go present something in the hopes of gaining something, I have to do it in a serious way in terms of my systems.
Yes.
Not that I need to sit there and give you a stone face.
And I think the magic is when you're prepared. It's like with stand-up comedy, which I love just watching. When you're prepared, but it doesn't look like you're prepared.
Right.
It looks like you're just kind of pulling stuff out.
And then before you know it, it's just
and you're just all
smooth.
You work things into the conversation that you want to put in, but it naturally happens. Oh, you're coming from Vermont. Oh, do you always stay in Vermont? Do you come back and forth constantly?
Yeah.
That's a question where I'm gaining a lot of knowledge, and I use Vermont as an example just because it was on top of the mind. You come from Boston. Do you take the trip a lot? Why? You have family down here? It's a conversation you would have, but I learned so much that they don't realize that I'm learning, but it's not, it's knowledge. It's just stuff so that I can help them.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
Tactics are big.
Yeah.
I'll go to the second point of our lives because I feel like it's where I'm strong now too. I'll save the best for last because I feel like that's my biggest weakness in terms of the personal life. The relationship piece, right? Like, marriage is no joke, as you know, but it is clearly it's a wonderful thing if you can manage it. But I'll go back to those times where I always talk about that created this real like monster, I guess, in my life. But I was so about my hustle, and circling this back to, trying to do more with less time. I was so hustle. You're talking caddying on the weekends to make extra cash. You're talking about personal training sessions and boot camps, one full-time job and a side job.
Yeah, I
My
remember.
wife is telling me, you need to change. You know, I need to be able to see you. I need to see you. Look, I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm doing this for a long period of time. We're doing this. Then the separations, you know, start in terms of your lifestyles. One thing leads to another. So I was so blinded by how little time I was actually spending in my relationship. And a successful marriage, you need to be intimate. Not in terms of sexual intimacy all the time, but you need to be able to really sit down and how was your day and talk and focus. Before I knew it, I had so many things going on in my life. I'm only talking to my wife about Dave Regina's day. Not ever asking, you know, how's your day? Not ever taking time to really tap in and receive that from her, right? So it's been fun, I guess, for me to figure out different ways to do, you know, more with less time. You say it's OCD, but we have specifically sat down and we share our notes for the food shopping.
Nice.
And the reason that we do that is so that we can be in and out.
We're getting better. We're getting
Right?
better at that.
But and as I think everybody, you know, does over time, but we do that strategically because we don't always have time together.
Mm-hmm.
So if I already know what I need to go get, and now I know, you know, we've been in this location now a few months, so I kind of know where the aisles and stuff like that. But the system is in place. It sounds funny to people, but then when I put the actual meaning to why we do it, then it makes sense.
Yeah,
so
because you want to save more time so you can spend it.
So we can do other
intimately.
things that we want to do. But I was so blindsided by how much that means in a relationship is
Yeah.
I guess my point of it. So, you know, I'm trying to manage that better.
Yeah, it's very hard because I think now working from home, you do a lot throughout the day and you're there physically, but you're not because you're mentally somewhere else and working and
Yep.
doing things. So for me, having a separate space allows me to not turn it off, but be able to put more boundaries on when I'm downstairs and working.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're ignoring them and you're able to, when you come up, be fully engaged. So I don't like how it's kind of like gray now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on work-life integration. And for example, people will see that I've incorporated Dana into the Tell Mike Sent You takeout videos,
Awesome
which has been
videos.
fun.
Those are awesome.
We used to do restaurants,
Yep.
where we used to go out every Sunday and try a new place. And part of it was like we want to see the area more, learn and kind of just enjoy ourselves. But the biggest advice or thing that's worked for us is putting it in the schedule, establishing a date night, establishing certain times where we're going to cook or go on our walks.
It's
The
a
walks
must
have
do.
been good.
It's a must.
Yeah,
do.
and if you get a call that you need to answer on a
Oh, yeah.
walk, if
Of
it's
course.
20 minutes of an hour and a half walk, like we walked to Carvel the other day,
Awesome.
and now especially having that time to see how they're doing and kind of not ratcheting things back, but being more efficient has
I love that term.
ratchet
ratcheting.
ratchet back. Getting more efficient complements having more time, like you're saying, for your personal life, and then having more time for your personal life ping pongs to you being more fulfilled when you work because you feel like, oh, I had a great night, you know, date
Yeah.
night, I'm ready to go crush it this morning. You feel refreshed. And then because you get all stuff accomplished, you feel more light and less stressed when you go to a family event or party. So it's like, I found when you crush your day and you have a really good day, and then you have a personal event at the end that you can really enjoy and relax, it's like the perfect combo.
It is. It definitely is. But I think it's amazing that we can sit here and talk about this type of stuff, because I feel like a lot of people in their own relationships, and this could be your best friend relationship, or it could be your marriage or your significant other, whatever. This is a real problem because, especially in America, we are so
America.
because we are so busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't realize how much you're actually missing
Yeah.
from the person that you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know, in love with or whatever it is. So I think if people talk about that, and again, I happen to have a leg up here because I went to therapy and I've been in therapy and I'm in therapy, you know what I'm saying? So I understand the value of
But you
doing
like
this.
being busy, right? Like I like
Oh, of
getting
course.
stuff done. I like doing
No,
stuff.
no. But being busy and getting stuff done is two completely different
I
things.
like being efficient and having my day packed
Of course.
because I feel if I don't, I feel guilty, and I feel like I'm not doing what I set out to do.
Yep.
And you feel guilty of not kind of trying to fulfill what you like. If I wasn't, there's a saying, if you want to see something get done, ask someone who's busy, which I believe in. I think, but so for me, like if I wasn't doing what I was doing and working hard at it, I don't think I'd be as happy, and I don't think I'd be as good of a husband for whatever that is.
Yep.
You know.
No, I think it's again.
We could let Dana and Karina roast us on episode 30.
Oh yeah,
about
and
this
that's coming quick too. We're only 6 episodes away from that.
Kids with that.
Oh my God.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it's I don't know. It is all perspective. But now as I get older, my focal point becomes, yes, I want to be busy. And this is where we differ, and power to you because you manage it very well. I have specifically and strategically left things out of my life, now whether it was going to bring me money or not, because I want to be busy on the things that I'm going to make perfect, whatever perfect is in your book. And my perfect is funny because I know I'll never be perfect in anything, but I want to get as close to being perfect as possible, if that makes sense. So that's like my everyday, type of battle.
Yeah.
But for me, a huge focus is making sure that my marriage is always good because of where I was. So I've seen it, and I know the damage that it did to both of us at that time. But also now more than ever, making sure that my actions align to what I want to teach my daughter.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Because this is now something you're talking about, doing more with less time. If I am spending time doing things in my life, it better be to benefit my daughter.
Yeah, of course.
But which is speaking directly to that point. So I could be teaching my daughter without even teaching her, having a teachable moment, but just she sees this same thing, the same guy showing up for her every single day, showing up for mom, doing things that typical moms do, but daddy's doing. Like, if I just do this stuff by my actions, I'm in essence raising my daughter, right? So now I'm very conscious of that because I need to be doing that stuff now while she's pregnant to try to at least get ready.
Yeah,
so when
set the tone.
You know what I mean? And that's when I say, I don't mean it as a cockiness, but I truly believe that I don't care if I don't have kids yet. I'm as prepared as I can possibly be.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm definitely, and I get it. I'm gonna be slapped in the face as soon as she cries. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna be okay, and I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Part of me thinks, and I don't want to put this out in the world, but part of me thinks our baby's going to be a loud crier.
Tough.
Just because I've been talking a lot of like, I'm good on no sleep. I keep saying that.
No, I need sleep. This is the No Snooze podcast, not the No Sleep podcast. I think
true.
they actually have one of
They
those.
do
by
have
the way.
it. They have a bunch of it.
I definitely think. All right, so personal life.
What's personal life? Define that.
So personal life for me,
Just like hobbies?
hobby, but I would throw fitness into personal life. Okay, so right now, what I'm doing is, I wake up because I get good sleep every night. I spend 2 hours working out. I'm entertaining Mike's push-ups, right?
I like how he calls them Mike's push-ups. Like, I invented push-ups.
Yeah, Mike created
Mike
this
ups?
push-up, Mike ups. But I am so okay with, you know what? Okay, when this time does come, I need to be able to still do more, a really high output in terms of my body. So I need to be able to do a 45-minute workout and be okay with it, right? Like I was talking about before. Need to be able to do an hour 15 max and then get back to it. So that's going to be a huge change in my personal life, is going for so much physically. Like right now, I try to tire myself out physically. That's what I strive for on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And what it's done is it's created this crazy mental monster in my life that I know that I could technically get hurt doing some of the stuff that I do because my mind will never tap out.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
I'm kind of hoping you blow out your shoulder.
But if that makes sense, I have created this in my head.
Well, it builds confidence because you're knocking out, you're giving yourself a lot of challenges and then daily you're achieving them.
Right.
So I totally get the physical, and then just physically feeling tight and fit gives you another level of confidence that carries across in other things.
Everything.
I totally get that.
But it's so my habit is working out. My habit is not 1,000 push-ups or 20 miles on a Peloton. That's my hype. And hype can last forever. Like hype can last for a long time.
I love your words. Like you're very you're not very fluid in your definitions, which I like, which I'm picking up pieces of that. I'm very fluid in like, and part of it's so that I can maneuver around conversation.
Yeah. No, look, I don't know, but like I got to look at things differently now in my personal life, which I'm going to struggle with.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I've been doing this for so long and having the ability to do it for so long.
Do you dislike change?
I don't think anyone likes change.
I love change.
I like being challenged.
Okay, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't like change. I definitely don't like it, but I like you putting me in a new atmosphere and me trying to figure it out.
I mean, that's change.
But see, to me, I look at it as like a challenge, an obstacle that I need to
Exhibit A with the
overcome.
Words. Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a change. But...
yeah, definitely a change. But I don't like that word. Like I want it because it change to me sounds negative, whereas you're forcing me into. This is how my brain works.
Like a butterfly changes from a caterpillar. You're a butterfly.
Right? Yeah, I guess. But so to me, when I think about it, right? When I think about change, that's me being forced into doing something differently.
Okay.
I like challenge.
You like the word. It's just a word
because
play. Yeah.
what that does to me mentally is it tells me that the odds are stacked against me. So how can I get through this obstacle?
Like a workout, and they recommend that you mix up your workouts. I love just change in general, or challenges that just kind of come out of nowhere. Like I like new stuff. Like it could be, I can stay within the industry or relationships and stuff, but I like mixing up new things into that.
Yep.
You know?
Projects
and
I definitely get that. But I need to that's where I think me finding a way to do more with less time is going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
And it's not just working out, because there's other things, I like to do. Like we just like going outside, and you know what, we want to go to Target now. Like, there's things that we're not going to be able to do. And what I meant, I didn't say what I just was thinking. So we could be outside 1 minute tanning, right? And then it's like, okay, got to go to Target right now. We want to go. So right now we just get up and go.
Yeah.
When the baby comes, that just doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like maybe the baby's sleeping, I gotta wait 2 hours, so then what can I do in these 2 hours to like my life is going to have to adapt.
Yeah, the structure is gonna get kind of
100%. And I'm excited for that challenge.
Yeah.
And I definitely use the word change, no doubt. But when you tell me like you're changing something, it makes me think that I'm being forced.
Yeah, I get defensive when people tell me what I'm going to be able to do when the baby comes.
I think it's hilarious when people tell me too, you're crazy if you think you're gonna work out. No, you're crazy if you think I'm not gonna work out.
Clip to like 5 months from now and we're both just like.
But so I was talking to somebody the other day, happened to be somebody who told me when they knew me at the age of 25.
But you love when people say you can't do anything either.
Why
do we like that?
But this is life, dude. You told me when I was 30 I wasn't gonna do this.
Yeah. But why do we like that? Why do we like? Is it just
I don't know.
Say like I told you so?
I don't know. But like people genuinely who tell me you're not gonna work out at 50, why would I not work out at 50? Unless something drastic in my life happens.
Yeah.
I know my system, right? Dave Regina's system.
That might be when I'm kind of peaking in the push-ups.
Right.
At
but
50.
Dave Regina's system works best when he wakes up and he works out.
What's the name of your system? You got to brand it.
It could be Dave Regina's system, man. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't see my life without. Will I be doing 20 miles and 1,000 push-ups?
It'll be
No.
a different form.
But again, my habit is working out because I know what that does to my creativity to spark my day.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is my point, though. You eventually get to a point that your purpose and your systems work. Now you have to, fit and plug and play things, but your smaller little tangible things change. Your big systems, they don't really need to change at all. Yeah. Look at, like, you talk about 4-hour work week. Look in that, but like there's very specific things that are done forever. Yeah. I don't see myself not doing those things. But I find it I want to know from people, really, what are things that I can be doing in my personal life to help the time versus the output situations.
Yeah, I think about this too. It's like you have to adjust to some things that you can do with your daughter that checks off the boxes. So it's trying to integrate the baby into things that you enjoy to do, but they also enjoy to do. Like if they like walking, you know, you go for a nice walk, or if they like playing soccer, you know, you kick the ball around, and then while you're kicking the ball around, you sneak some push-ups in. So it's like, it takes a little more effort.
This is a Kobe.
But I think you could do it. It's just a little more difficult.
So Kobe, episode 24, rest in peace, he was a rock star at this whole thing, right? Especially once he retired. And he unfortunately was only able to retire for, 2 years maybe? Because he was 41 when he died. I think he retired at 40, so a year and a half, whatever. His daughter, so Kobe used to work out at 4 a.m. always. Even when he retired, he would still get up and work out. His daughter at the time was 12 years old. Because she saw him just doing this on a daily basis, she then started to wake up before school with Kobe, and they would be working out together. Kobe happened to work out in the dark because it did something to his mental.
I didn't know that.
Which is crazy. He used to even shoot free throws in the dark. I think it was Byron Scott walked in on him one time and was like, "This kid's gonna be great," because he was in the dark at like 2 hours before practice shooting.
I look like I shoot free throws in the dark. I think my last season I was like 1 for 50.
But then even thinking about how he died, that was him doing what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He knew that where he lived, the traffic was terrible.
Yeah.
He happened to have the money to buy a helicopter. So he knew that the helicopter ride was only going to take 15 minutes. So that allowed him to free up more time throughout his day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To that point, something I'm thinking about constantly is like, can you use, when is it okay, not when is it okay, but when can you use money to leverage to build more time in? Like, when do you pull the trigger on certain things? Like, if I ever was real established, personal chef, no question. Why not? Because the majority of the time that I will not waste, but is cooking. I like fresh meals. I haven't figured out the meal prep just yet. I'm working towards that, but I do enjoy cooking and a good meal. But I feel like that's such a big part of your life that having, maybe not a personal chef, someone prepare meals, and we did the prep thing. It just doesn't make sense financially yet. You know, that stuff kind of makes sense. People think, oh, they have a personal chef. That's absurd. But, you know, people have drivers because they get the stuff done in the car all day.
Yep.
You know, any of like the high level people usually have drivers.
I think that makes sense. But again, that's people then doing what I was saying before. Well, I'm going to tie it to this because I like to be right like this. You know what I mean?
Tie it up.
But to tie it to perfecting the things that you want to focus on in your life allows you to free other things up in your life.
Well,
right?
yeah, the master plan, if you have a master plan, the master plan can kind of adjust depending on what you want. You can constantly keep changing it depending on new variables, like a daughter, like having 2 daughters, like having 3 daughters, however many daughters you want, or having a son.
Hashtag but girl dad.
Like, ultimately, my goal is to be super established, not only with the No Snooze podcast, but with real estate, so that my actual existence in the town, I become omnipresent, where people, it's synonymous with Greenwich real estate.
Right.
It's like, oh, you need something, call Mike. He has however many listings, he owns a street of properties. You call him, he'll either connect you with someone that can get something done, tell Mike sent you. That brand is going to be overarching, because you're basically the mayor of town, or trying to become a version of that, and connect people and introduce people to parts of the town. So like, long term, that goal of being in town, having a great life for the kids. You know, my wife has a bakery that's connected to a little brick and mortar location where I'll spend some time. I send people over to her. She makes them free food. You know, just, head over there. Dana will hook you up, whatever she baked. Yeah. She enjoys that. You know, the kids running around. I'm like, oh, it's my daughter. She's working on soccer or whatever, and she's like on the side kicking. Like, having everything integrated. At the end of the night, it's like, all right, you know, call up Steve. You know, does he have a spot at the place on the water? You know, let's go down. Let's call some friends. We'll meet him down there. Like that kind of
sounds like a nice
vision.
life.
But
And
you, like if you have that vision, and you
of course,
paint that,
and that's gonna happen.
but
That's
that having that vision of like what in my world would make me the most happiest, that allows you to make decisions so that you can eat day in and day out, eat crap, working hard, because you see it slowly start to come together.
Yep.
You know, but that's kind of, and we talk about all the time, like one of the happiest things is when like it's a big, you know, table and everyone, family's there, friends, and you're all just kind of BSing, telling stories and eating good food.
100%.
It's like, what's better?
Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. And what's funny is this is, I think, the same type of goal that everybody has in their life. You know, they want that.
Yeah.
In some form, your family is usually tied to that.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I think it's the focal point for us, especially now where we are in our lives. But now it's about the skill set and honing the skills to make this happen.
Oh yeah, you need the details
right.
to get to there.
You ever heard the story of two lumberjacks cutting down a tree?
I don't know. If I have, it was probably from you.
Right, but it's two lumberjacks in a tree cutting contest. And there's two axes, they're both dull axes.
Oh yeah.
Right, so one grabs it, he goes and he starts chopping. The other one picks it up and he goes the other way, trying to find out how to sharpen his axe. Mm-hmm. Right? It took him all day to sharpen his axe. Comes back, the dude is basically on the floor taking a nap, but the tree is almost completely cut over, right? But he's so tired. But he progressed so much, but the poor guy still lost to the guy that spent the entire day sharpening his axe.
I'm sharpening my axe in push-ups.
Sharpening his axe, and then just came clean and chopped it. You said you're sharpening your axe? You need to figure it out. That's what you need to do.
For push-ups.
Yeah, you need to figure it out.
Figuring out the push-ups.
Because one day it's push-ups, the next I don't know. But honestly, this is you being a scientist. Like you are. I'm serious. You're testing so many things out in your life. You're seeing what works. You're seeing what doesn't work. We just happen to be documenting a different, time in our lives, which is awesome.
But I've said it. It looks like chaos, but when it all comes together, people are like, oh, like the brand, the Tell Mike Sent You brand has been in my head for like 3 years, and I've been trying to establish a brand or a tagline, and I tried Make Sense of Greenwich Real Estate, which never caught. Then I did like Selling Greenwich, which wasn't acknowledgeable. Then this thing kind of caught, and now I'm like, this is awesome because I can give out gift cards to my clients that I show properties with the sticker of the thing and say, oh, head over to Vinny, pick up a slice, use this gift card, like enjoy, feel the neighborhood.
It works
and it just kind of like.
It all aligns, yep.
Yeah.
I love, people can say whatever they want. I love being involved with people, and I've said this before, who have things to do. So you can call it busy, call it productive, whatever word you like, cool. But also that are not complacent. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about you the most, is that you're always looking to challenge yourself in a different way, and I find the same qualities in myself. And we've always been like that.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, I wouldn't choose anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I hope the feeling is mutual.
Yeah, we're gonna bromance right now.
Right.
So I have to give you credit because before we started this, I knew that I needed to create more time because just physically I couldn't get everything done in a day. And I knew I wasn't starting my day right and I had to get back into shape. And I just couldn't commit. And then when we started this, you gave me a reason to start committing. And then another result was the structure that you bring, where I have some form of structure, but not to the level that you have it. And that's the other thing that's been holding me back is the lack. I'm organized, but I feel like the elite
you can be organized in chaos.
Super organized.
Right. And you can be organized.
You can always be more organized, and you're at the level of organization, breaking down goals in your day that I've benefited from huge in just wanting to be more organized and pushing more towards processes and not letting kind of the day, not react to the day and try to be proactive as far as stuff. So it's been a mutual, very beneficial relationship.
My guy.
And obviously the shirts are just getting tight. My suits are struggling, but my shirt's
We'll
getting
deal
tight.
with the suits later, man.
Yeah, I need to go. I need to get more, man. I say it every week.
Yeah, we got to get
I'm hoping someone's going to reach
suit
out.
sponsor. Anybody interested? All right. Can we get into questies?
Yeah.
Yeah?
People are still asking questions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Didn't we answer everyone's questions already?
No, listen,
We didn't answer life's
They
questions?
just don't know. Now we're recycling. We're going back. So the people who are just listening, this is a question that was already answered. No, imagine. So Carrie P60 from Long Island.
Is that in her name? It
Was
dash
on
Long Island?
Instagram. From Long Island. Do you think everyone should have a goal in place? You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because
I think I have an opposite answer to you for
no,
this.
I don't think so.
I'm
So-
devil's advocate.
Yeah, but I don't think so. So, Claudio, are you
He goes,
listening?
yeah, I don't think so.
You listening? Are you listening? Okay. So I do think everyone needs some form of goals.
I like how you asked Claudio
some
if he's
form
listening.
of a goal in place. But I don't think that you have to have your life figured out. Because I would say we know where we want to go, but we still haven't figured it out yet. But we're getting closer. But every day you should have some sort of goal, even if it's a temporary one. And I'll break it down very simple to you. When you get in a car, 90% of the time at least, if not 99% of the time, you have a specific destination that you're going to. Right?
What scenario don't you?
Well, I listen, especially with the COVID thing, I think people literally got in their cars and they just drove around just to get outside.
That's
So
true.
that's something different.
It's a good point.
But I'm saying for the majority
your
of
goal is
the
to
time,
drive around.
the majority of the time, you know where you want to go. It could be a short trip to the supermarket. Your goal could be a very short trip to the supermarket. It could be 1 week of a goal. And then the next week you set another one. If you don't have goals in your life in place, I believe that people then become bitter without knowing why they're bitter, but you have no structure whatsoever in your life. So it creates this bitterness that then you exude negativity, which then rolls off to your partner, to your friends. Before you know it, now you're a negative person. Mm-hmm. So my answer is yes, you need some form of a goal, and it could be the dumbest goal in the world. At least you know that when you get in the car, you know you're going to work.
If you think hard enough,
He's gonna be like,
no. I was gonna
no.
say if you think hard enough, you can rationalize a goal of anything.
That's what I'm saying.
The
but
only thing I
Right.
would say to play devil's advocate is like if you're enjoy painting, like just go paint. Like just do what you enjoy, and then something good's gonna come from it.
But so that's different. So
Your goal is to enjoy what you're doing.
no. Everything you do in your life, that doesn't have to have a specific goal in it. I believe everything in your life either adds to your goals or it doesn't add to your goals. Like I know if I'm going on the town and I go get banged up till 4 a.m, like that does nothing for my life right now.
But
It does nothing.
If you reset from that, you blow off steam, and then you're better the next day. It does.
That's
I can
cool.
bend any-
No, but
any
that's
activity.
cool. That would be like a little temporary setback, right? Which is okay. So at least if you're doing the majority of the time, like we said, if you get in a car and you kind of know where you're going, that to me is always a better path.
So I'll make a note. Anyone who submits a question, I do like the question. You got to be more specific.
Right.
That's
I
very good.
agree with that.
Carrie, P60. I'm assuming that's P90. Just you do 2/3 of it. From Long Island. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This one is from Mike Welsh.
I like him already.
North Carolina, baby.
Anyone who's named Mike, fun fact,
Little dookie.
I immediately like off the bat, and I always make the comment like, it's a good name. And it's my
rolls
go-to
off.
joke.
What is something you're currently working on? I'd rather hear something you struggle with than something you're already good at.
It's going to take me a while to figure this one out.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. Something currently, saying no to things. That's like one of the biggest
That's going to be an
things.
episode of ours too, right?
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things that I struggle with is I say that I'm going to say no to certain opportunities or anything like an event, but I enjoy challenges and people so much that it's hard for me. Like networking events, things where I probably should say no.
Yep.
I say yes because in the past, saying yes has always benefited me. But now it's like, is it benefit me enough? Like the opportunity cost of going to this thing.
Yep.
Is it worth it to sacrifice a night with Dana making dinner? And like some stuff you can't replace and you have to enjoy certain things. So saying no has been the hardest thing for me.
I'll agree with that for myself too. But to give a different answer, and this is definitely true, and you guys are both going to be like, oh, yeah.
I'm going to throw my pad.
Yeah. I have to be more careful with my words. And I'm conscious when I do it, which is step one in the process of getting better. But I'm quick to be defensive. I'm quick to offend without necessarily knowing that I'm offending people. But sometimes the way that I speak is very...
You're very straightforward.
Very straightforward, and it comes off as and I'm being offensive.
But I don't think you... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think you're bad with your words. If anything, I think you're pretty good with your words.
Well,
you phrase things
but
well.
so hear me out. There's context to it, especially when things are not going Dave's way. Right?
I love how you talk in third person. It gets me every time.
It gets you every time.
Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
who's Dave? Who's Dave? Who's Dave? So especially when they're not going my way, I need to be more conscious of this. Right, and the same, even in my marriage, at work, business
everyone
partners.
Struggles with that. I'm sure.
But this is something that I'm not good at, and I'm working on for sure. But now, if I really want to tie this full circle, we talk about I have good discipline. Okay, well, so what is the definition of self-discipline? Self-discipline, I would think, is doing the things that you believe are right, even when the temptation is telling you not to do it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that an easy way to break it down? Like a good way? So you always want to do things that you believe are the right thing.
So, sometimes you say sayings that I think are correct, but you say them a little slower.
Yeah.
And my brain has trouble putting them together. Does that make sense?
But it's really aligning with doing those things despite the temptation not to do it. That would be self-discipline.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
Despite the temptation not to do it. Okay, so now if I'm a self-disciplined dude, like every other aspect of my life, how do I then get better with my words? Okay, one, I got to be conscious of it. But now two, when the temptation is now kicking in, I got to start flipping that self-discipline that I like so much. I can't come out here and be so disciplined in so many aspects of my life and then continue to offend people if things aren't going Dave's way. And I definitely have gotten...
I love when you say that.
I definitely have gotten better,
Yeah.
but it's something that I'm working on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I'm very conscious of it.
Something that I will try to be better at, that I also am not great at, is no one cares, right? Everyone's busy. No one cares if you're busy. Sometimes I just say it to people because I'm trying to let them know, listen, I'm swamped right now. I will get back to you. And I say it too short and make them feel like it's almost better not to respond and then follow up when I have a second to respond. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just in general, telling people you're busy is, I think, a bad habit.
You're gonna love my quote today then.
Yeah. Why does it say busy 40 times? He leaves me on cliffhangers constantly. He's like, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Listen, when you're old enough, I'll tell you. That's what I feel like.
Oh man,
that's a good question though.
That was actually a very good.
Welsh.
And I actually like that he said, I'd rather hear something you struggle with than something you're already good at.
Do we talk about how
I think that's why we probably are we're really good at this. We do push-ups really well. We ride the pelly. We're good. Mike can sell houses to anybody. We're great.
Yeah. I wonder if people meet us, they're like, yeah, that's them. Or when they meet us, they're like,
who are those guys? Yeah. Mike's favorite section. Would you rather?
Side note, TikTok, thank you.
Yes.
One of our posts got 190,000 views.
Yes.
186.
And climbing.
Yeah, and our boy Duxbury Made, one of his posts went to 6.4 million.
Ridiculous.
Not the No Snooze post. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But yeah, I love this.
Okay.
This will end up there.
Would you rather begin every sentence with, according to my calculations, or
why do you say it like that?
end every sentence with, just kidding? everything you say.
Dude,
Think about it.
I would do the just kidding. That's pretty
Oh
funny.
my gosh. But everything you say, like, you have to just say at the end of it, just kidding.
Kind of funny. Well,
I'm a really good realtor. I promise I'll sell you the house. Just kidding.
Well, you'd have to flip everything, right? That's the way you get around it.
How do you do that?
I'm a terrible realtor.
I definitely.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Saying honestly all the time or just?
Yeah,
Honestly or just? So just as
according to my
as you know,
calculations, you
is-
could.
is a fluff word. But imagine, according to my calculations,
According to my calculations, pretty funny. Are you having steak tonight? According to my calculations, I am. You can make that work.
It's definitely a funny one.
But then it'd be weird in certain scenarios. It's like, do you want to go a date? According to my calculations, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Right? It's yeah. It's
so
very funny.
Yeah, just kidding.
It's so funny to think about.
You don't want to go, or yeah, I'm trying to think. One day we need to do one of these where it's like a saying thing and do it all day.
All day.
Like the whisper yell would be good.
Yeah, the whisper of the shop.
You want to buy a house?
Which one would you choose though?
Dan, are you sleeping? Like screaming.
Which one would you choose?
The whisper would definitely be easier.
No. Which one would you choose according to my calculations?
Damn, I keep flip-flopping.
Or just kidding.
Just kidding's funny. I would do just kidding.
And I think as bad as it sounds, I
Babe,
would
I
do it
don't love
according
you.
to my calculations.
Like, babe, I don't love you.
I would
Just
have
kidding.
to. Yeah, it's terrible.
You'd
but
have to flip-flop
At least it's
everything.
according to my calculations. I don't know. It's pretty bad. Okay.
He's
What?
gonna faint.
And then the last one. And look, I know there's if you have this, I'm sorry, you're still perfect. But would you rather have 1 foot double in size or 1 ear double in size? Which one?
I'm thinking of like applications for it.
Remember when he said the 7? I
Yes,
have
dude,
7
I
fingers.
still stand by that.
Oh my god!
The foot would be tough. So because like I don't
Can't be
run,
your right
though.
foot if you're
See,
gonna
I don't-
drive, right? I would have a
yeah,
side.
I don't run though, so
Yeah.
like it wouldn't really affect me.
It's so funny though to think
I
about.
would
Like
s-
imagine Mike coming with a suit with
Just
double
one huge ear.
size ear.
Well, you'd have to have.
I listen to all your needs.
You know
Mike
what?
Pirelli, Greenwich Real Estate.
Yeah. It'd be my brand. Let me ear you out.
I'm literally crying.
An ear for an ear. You know what they always say? An ear for an ear.
Oh my god! I swear to God, I'm crying.
Dude,
According to my calculations,
you'd be pretty famous.
Right.
Like you'd.
I would choose foot, 100%.
But you like on the Peloton with one huge foot.
Just one, just one too.
It depends how big your other foot is, because
Double
it's
the
double in
size.
size. So
Dou-
say you have a
so you-
size 3 and a 6.
No,
it's not that
dude,
big.
you're a 12, so you'd
So
be a
it'd be
24.
Dude, how annoying would it be to buy shoes?
According to my calculations, I would need 1 Shaq shoe. Seriously, you'd have one Shaq.
The ear one.
Bro, please.
Listen.
Don't tell me that you would have a
If you
double.
did the ear one, you'd be pretty famous, and you'd be able to like hear people from far away,
Oh my
which
god.
would come in handy.
Because Mike Brennan,
You could be like, "Are they
Greenwich
talking
Here
about me?"
Estate.
Judge your state. Hearing your needs twice as much.
Oh my god, we gotta stop this. It's getting dark. So which one would you choose?
I told you the ear.
The ear.
Kid.
Oh my god. All right, man.
Is that a seashell?
Wow. This will bring us to my favorite
Imagine wearing
section.
hats.
This is my favorite section. Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes. When are we gonna get a soundboard, Claudio? We do have a
Oh,
soundboard?
man.
You gotta hit the button.
This is from your boy Tim Ferriss.
Is it really?
Yes.
Did you plan this?
No.
I am on the same cycle as you.
Focus on being productive,
Not busy.
not busy.
Beautiful. We should just throw our paper outside.
Yeah.
That's good. So for Miguelito's mantras, and we're going.
Ito.
We're doing a little bit of Spanglish here because we got Cuentos coming up.
Yep.
Fear does not stop death; it stops life. It's a good one.
That was powerful.
It's a good one. I don't know who
I mean,
said
the way
it.
you read it wasn't so powerful, but
My
yeah, according to my calculations.
Just kidding.
The way you said that, it wasn't so powerful.
yeah. I don't have the punch for quotes like Dave does. You know.
Oh man.
And for our final section, I'm passing the torch for this week because I've officially ran out of new socks. So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Quaintance.
That's right. According to my calculations, we have Claudio's Cuentos.
What is Quintos? Points? Oh,
Can we do
really?
Clauditos? Clauditos.
Wow, steal my shine.
It's about changing your life. You'll find a way. If you're not, you will find an excuse.
Ooh.
If you're serious about changing your
How
life,
proud are you right now?
you'll find a
Did you give him
way.
a sloppy kiss?
And if you're not,
Those luscious lips.
you'll find an excuse.
You've been hiding those things for years.
Is that right?
Hiding them.
Is that right? Did I say it?
I wasn't listening. I was too
You were
busy
looking at the
your beard.
lusciousness,
Yeah.
the luscious lips.
So I think that is the heat on the feet segment.
Oh, so are you passing it over?
I'm passing the torch for now.
So yeah, well, because I can't do this too often, but I
It's
might
tough, isn't
I
it?
might just start rocking some J's and
Yeah,
have
that
that
counts.
as heat on the. So I believe Mike Pirelli, Greenwich Here Estate, got me these.
Yes, wedding day.
right?
ones.
This
I
is-
thought they were black.
This is Mike's
Sure.
wedding sock. They're blue,
Yeah, they were not what the picture showed.
They
'cause we
are-
were at tux.
but you also got married. Was it right before Memorial Day?
It was Memorial Day weekend, the Friday before.
We have that in common too. So
Yeah,
you were
you were
Memorial
July
Day
4th.
and I was 4th of July. Stars and stripes.
copying you.
It's like the 1-2 punch.
1, 2 punch.
You said you were copying? No, it's the cheapest way to get married. You steal a national holiday.
Exactly. You should start wearing your Jordans.
According to my calculations.
yeah.
You should, according to my calculations, you should start wearing your Jordans every day, so I could see which ones I want to steal once
Oh,
I pass you up.
that's true.
One time.
That's
'Cause
all
you
you got-
just admitted that
That's all you gotta do.
You're gonna scratch at 100.
That's it. Well, look, you have. So now you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to keep it going. But yes, you definitely do get one.
So, for everyone's sake and sunlight's sake, well, not sunlight because it's
Yes.
overcast. It's about to pour. If you want to help us out, and we would greatly appreciate it, go like, subscribe, follow, and if we find out you don't, Dave's gonna come find you.
According to my calculations, that's not a good thing.
Well, he's not gonna come find. I might come find you, and just annoy you.
But wait, so if you can choose one thing that they can do, because you said you want them to like it,
I want them to do it all.
follow it, subscribe to it, rate it.
No,
What-
don't worry about subscribers. We need subscribers
On YouTube?
On YouTube because
On YouTube.
99% of the people that are watching our stuff aren't subscribing. It's probably because they dislike us.
Right.
But think about it. If you subscribe,
Don't be a silent supporter.
yeah, that's the worst type of supporter. Actually, keep supporting us. Don't stop.
Yeah.
If you subscribe, you don't have to watch it. Watch it after.
Yeah.
Just subscribe, please. You're
Subscribe.
driving me crazy.
All right.
Anything else? Anything to add?
No, I think that's perfect.
Appreciate all the t-shirt sales.
Absolutely.
Printaful is a little behind by a month. Thank you for your patience. It's like when you are starving and then you eat a meal.
Yep.
Sure, it's going to feel so much better when you put it on.
Absolutely.
Remember that.
Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it. Which
My
camera?
man.
Which is my camera?
Oh, dude, I literally sat down for so long.
That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.